done. Yeah, when they finish. When they finish, ready. Problem is we can't see who coming out of the vehicles
Hmm.
or the first national hero. I mean, national hero. Security chiefs.
Security. Yeah.
Stand by. Good morning to you in GQ. Good morning to listeners in St. Kitts and Nevis and wherever we have been heard at this time. This is ZIZ Radio and the television coming to you on this Independence Morn from Warner Park in St. Kitts. We'll be bringing to you the ceremonial parade to commemorate the 36th anniversary of the independence of St. Kitts and Nevis. With me, I have the Director General of SKNIS, Mr. Lesroy Williams. Good morning to you, Lesroy.
Good morning to you there, and happy Independence 36 to all citizens and residents of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Well, so far we've seen a number of dignitaries arrive here for the parade. We've just seen the arrival of the only living national hero, the Right Honorable, the Right Excellent Dr. Sir Kennedy Simmons. He has just arrived. We've also seen the arrival of the security chiefs, and we expect any moment now to see the arrival of the Prime Minister, followed by the Governor General of St. Kitts and Nevis. Lesroy, could you set the scene here for us this morning?
Well, it's a very cool morning. It is not too hot, although it seems like there are some clouds that are hovering overhead. I do hope that, you know, we are blessed. Today is a blessed day. It's our Independence Day, 36 years. We are still a very young country, and we expect the day to go very, very well.
And of course, a number of persons have gathered here at Warner Park in their patriotic colors. We've seen some of the stands are getting filled right about now to the left of us, and also to the east of us. There are some persons in the stand as well. And speaking about the stand, Lesroy, we had a historic CPL cricket match here on Tuesday night between the Patriots and Trinidad and Tobago, where the Patriots came out on top in the Super Over. So this venue, this particular venue, Warner Park, has a lot to offer in terms of sports, and not only sports, but as well as our independence celebrations. The Independence Parade is usually being held right here at Warner Park.
You know, what is absolutely amazing is that we have so many of our nationals coming out in shirts and in the national wear, the colors of the flag. that is a very good sign that people are patriotic, that they love their country.
Yes, yes, Lesroy, and we've been seeing it over the past couple of weeks throughout the CPL and independence as well. And we are now seeing the arrival of Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, led by the police outrider and his security personnel. They are just about arriving in front of us here. And on parade, we have members of the St. Kitts Nevis Defense Force, also the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force. There is a large contingent, Lesroy, from the Explorers as well. In fact,
Yes.
they are the largest contingent on parade.
We also have officers from Her Majesty's Prison. The Prime Minister has just stepped out of his vehicle to the loud cheers of many who have gathered here for the ceremonial parade.
Yes, Lesroy, and he has taken to the podium. The photographers are all in place, and of course, it's a pretty good atmosphere here at the ceremonial parade. And the persons continue to come into the Warner Park Stadium.
We also have on parade today, we have the St. Kitts and Nevis Fire and Rescue Services officers from there, and we also have officers from the Customs and Excise Department.
The crossing guards are also well represented here this morning, Lesroy, and the Girl Guides, as usual, they are here. Members of Her Majesty's Prison and the Fire and Rescue Services. And we are seeing now the arrival of the Governor General, His Excellency
So
S.W. Tapley Seaton. He's being escorted by 3 police outriders, and at any moment now he'll be arriving right in front of us here. And over to the far right, the St. Kitts Nevis Defense Force Band, led by Captain Nigel Williams, and we expect to see some real good creative music coming from the St. Kitts Nevis Defense Force Band as usual this morning. And among the tunes they are expected to be playing this morning for the inspection at evening time, Grace and Beauty, Days of Elijah, My Land is Your Land. Those are some of the tunes they'll be playing for the inspection. And we are now seeing the Governor General, the commander of the St. Kitts Nevis Defense Force, Lieutenant Comrie, is now approaching, opening his door. And any moment now, the Governor General will be coming out of his vehicle and will be taken to
The days
the saluting dais.
where the national anthem
Yeah.
will be played.
Slight breeze blowing across the field here this morning. A bit humid. Earlier on, we had a few, well, not showers, but some drizzle rain coming. Persons in the stands were trying to make sure they get their shelter. Some stood their ground, which was the right thing to do because it was just a drizzle. The Governor General is now approaching the dais. Any moment now, we'll be hearing the national anthem. The stands are growing in numbers, Lesroy.
Yes, they are. I'm surprised that so many people have arrived in such a short space of time.
Dressed in their patriotic colors, of course. And we've seen this reflected throughout the various communities over the past few days as well, Lesroy. Even on Heroes Day, we
Yes.
saw the patriotic colors coming out.
And on Friday, and we had also the National Day where you wear your colors. So people came to work in their colors and so on.
And the detachments from the St. Kitts Nevis Defense Force and the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force. They're also representatives of the uniformed services or the unarmed units. And on today's parade, we're not seeing any visiting troops that we've seen some of the parades gone by. And right now, the security chiefs are escorting Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris to inspect the troops on parade here this morning. And as I...
While the inspection is being done, you will have a few hymns at evening time, Grace and Beauty, Days of Elijah, My Land is Your Land.
And the St. Kitts Nevis Defense Force Band, they usually put on a good show during and after the parade. Many persons line the streets of Bastille up onto Camp Springfield, where the parade usually ends with a toast on the grounds of the St. Kitts Nevis Defense Force. But right about now, we are here at Warner Park in St. Kitts. And if you've just joined us, this is ZIZ Television and Radio, bringing to you live coverage of the ceremonial parade here at Warner Park in St. Kitts. And Lesroy, it must be a proud moment for a number of the Defense Force soldiers and the police, everyone on parade this morning, who have been looking forward to this over the past few months, preparing and getting things right.
Yes, and we must really commend the order and the discipline, the dedication that went into getting this parade ready. Every year, and I always say that this is my favorite part of independence, because it speaks to the order and discipline that really we should have as a people, as a society.
And of course, a number of the children here at Warner Park also look forward to this time of independence when their moms and their dads, whoever, bring them out to Warner Park to see the spectacle here at the Warner Park Cricket Stadium.
And we really commend the youth explorers, of course, you know, a group of young people, a large contingent of young people who are learning order and discipline and so on. And of course, this is an initiative of the Ministry of National Security in helping to mold our young people, mold them into the right path, the right direction.
And Lesroy, it's good to see that it has been growing over the years. We understand that a number of the communities now have their own group of explorers.
Yes, we have the Mulfill, which is Molyneux and Phillips's explorers. You have the Shadwell explorers. You have
the Newtown explorers.
You have the Newtown explorers as well.
The grounds here at Warner Park, well manicured, of course. The grass is very, very green. We've been having some showers over the past days, which contribute a lot to the greenery here at the stadium.
We also have the St. Peter's Explorers.
The parade commander this morning, Major W.A. Bass, and the parade 2IC Captain K. Garnett, and the warrant officer commanding the unarmed units, W02 L. Huggins. The parade sergeant major is W02 Keynes. And we've got the senior NCO markers in Sergeant Francis and Sergeant Herbert of the flag party. And as I said before, the St. Kitts Nevis Defense Force Drum Corps and the band is being led by the Director of Music, Captain Nigel E. Williams. The Prime Minister continues to inspect the guards. He's now at the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force. One of the platoons, the police force has 3 detachments here this morning. One with the ladies, the WPCs. He will now be moving on to that group, and then the other detachment from the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force. Well, that's why the sun is coming out
Yes.
in its glory right about now. It's a good sight to see. We've got some good weather, some clouds hovering over us, but never mind, the crowd is certainly enjoying the ceremonial parade here at Warner Park as we celebrate the 36th anniversary of the independence of St. Christopher and Nevis.
And this year, the independence activities are being celebrated under the theme Unify, Transform, Enrich, uplifting communities for Independence 36.
And as you said that, Lesroy, I can remember on Heroes Day when both of us did the commentary, you spoke of the fact that the theme came out in the various communities.
It came out in the various communities because this year the focus for independence was really on community building.
And as part of our 36th independence anniversary, we've seen a number of allies of St. Kitts and Nevis congratulating the government and the people of St. Kitts and Nevis on the 36th year celebration of our independence. In one of the congratulatory letters to the Governor General of St. Kitts and Nevis, His Excellency Sir Samuel Weymouth Tapley Seaton, the President of the Federal Republic of Germany, His Excellency Frank Walter Steinmeier, said that the countries enjoyed an amicable ties based on the mutual trust. And he also said, as chair of the CARICOM, the country assumed a special responsibility at the international level in the first half of 2019.
Yes, and we have several visiting dignitaries and resident diplomatic corps visiting for our 36th anniversary of independence. We have, of course, a resident diplomatic corps. We have the Ambassador of the Republic of Cuba and Mrs. Neris de la Caridad Garcia Merino. We have His Excellency Abelardo Hernandez Ferrer. We have His Excellency Tom Lee, Ambassador of Republic of China, Taiwan, and his delegation. We have Mr. Marco Guzman Adrian, Charge d'Affaires ad hoc of Venezuela.
And also in offering felicitations to the Honorable Mark Brantley, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Aviation, Mr. Ivica Dacic, the First Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Serbia. He said on the occasion of the Independence Day of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, he extended his cordial congratulations and best wishes to further the prosperity of St. Kitts and Nevis and also to the well-being of its people. He also further said that he trusts and believes that we are sharing the readiness to bring countries and peoples closer together, enhancing cooperation on the basis of mutual trust and understanding.
And some of the other visiting dignitaries among us for our celebration of our 36th anniversary of independence are Her Excellency Miss Linda S. Tagliela Taylor, who is the Ambassador of the United States of America and her delegation. We have Her Excellency Marile Gault, High Commissioner of Canada and delegation. His Excellency Priyo Iswanto, Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia and delegation. And I must say that we recently opened consulate of the Republic of Indonesia in St. Kitts and Nevis, and the honorary consul is Mr. Farron Lawrence.
And as we continue to bring you live coverage of the ceremonial parade here at Warner Park, the Prime Minister is now gonna meet with the members or the detachment of Her Majesty's prison. They've got a contingent here on parade this morning. And among the dignitaries here this morning, we have the members of cabinet as well, a number of invited guests.
We have greetings from Pope Francis in a congratulatory message to His Excellency Sir Samuel Weymouth Tapley Seton. The Holy Father said, "I send cordial greetings to Your Excellency and to your fellow citizens on the occasion of the National Day of St. Kitts and Nevis. With prayerful good wishes, I invoke upon all the people of the Federation the abundant blessings of Almighty God." Pope Francis.
And also in a communique to His Excellency S.W. Tapley Seton, Governor General, the Director General of the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, of the UN, he conveyed on the occasion of your National Day, may I extend it to Your Excellency in the name of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, and on his behalf, best wishes for health and happiness. May the people of St. Kitts and Nevis enjoy peace and prosperity. The Embassy of France to the Eastern Caribbean, to Barbados and the OECS residents in St. Lucia, with a letter addressed from His Excellency Emmanuel Macron, the President of the French Republic, to the Governor General of St. Kitts and Nevis. I hope that we will continue to develop bilateral cooperation, especially in the fight against the effects of climate change. And in this regard, we actively support, in connection with our communities in the Americas, the development of renewable energies and cooperation with the countries of the region to support projects that promote energy transition.
We also have congratulatory message from the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Thailand, General Prayut Chan-o-cha, who said that I would like to take this opportunity to reaffirm the Royal Thai government's goodwill and determination to collaborate with the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, both bilaterally and multilaterally, for the mutual benefits and well-being of our two countries and peoples.
A number of countries chiming in there and giving their respect to St. Kitts and Nevis.
And there are a few more.
Yes, of course.
For
There are many, many
example,
more.
we have from the Republic of Belarus, congratulatory words being offered on our country's celebration of its 36th Independence Day. I am confident that with the assistance of our foreign ministries, the relations between the two countries will continue to expand dynamically.
And we continue with the inspection of the guards on parade. The Prime Minister is now going on to the explorers, as we told you earlier, that there are a large contingent from the explorers coming from around St. Kitts and Nevis. I understand there are explorers in Nevis as well.
Yes.
Or I know there were plans of forming groups in Nevis.
I don't know, Veer, if that has been launched as yet. I haven't heard, but
And back here on the local scene on Heroes Day, we saw the Prime Minister announcing the Medal of Honor, Companion of the Star of Merit to a number of persons here in St. Kitts and Nevis. This year's recipients of the Companion of the Star of Merit include Dr. Calvin Hazel for spiritual development and advancement of our people. Also Bishop Joseph Henville for religion and community development. Mr. Erskine Edwards for public service and diplomacy. Mr. Augustine Merchant for agricultural development in service to the nation. And Mr. Bruce Carrot for music locally, regionally, and internationally. The Companion of the Star of Merit went to Mrs. Marilyn Bertie Guichard for education and religion, Mr. Lester Blackett for sports, Mrs. Yvette Slack for preschool education and community activism, Mr. Antonio Liebert for culture, Mr. Everett Weber Herbert for broadcasting, Mrs. Arabella Nisbet for farming, Mrs. Erlene Maynard for education, Mr. Anthony Evelyn for ongoing efforts to enhance the cause of building contractors, Ms. Juliet Martin for performing arts, dance, Mrs. Alice Swanston for education and community outreach, Mr. Oswald Elliott for education, and Mr. Michael Mick Heiliger Stokes for musical production and artistry.
the St. Kitts and Nevis has received also congratulatory messages from the Secretary General of CARICOM, Ambassador Erwin LaRocque. In a message to the Prime Minister, he said, on behalf of the Caribbean community, it is with great pleasure that I convey heartfelt congratulations to the government and people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis on the occasion of your country's 36th anniversary of independence. St. Kitts and Nevis has made significant progress in those 36 years and is justified in celebrating its achievements with pride. The theme of this anniversary, Unify, Transform, Enrich, Uplifting Communities for Independence 36, promotes the continuation of the collective will and actions of the government and people of St. Kitts and Nevis to further the country's socio-economic development. Honorable Prime Minister, I wish to acknowledge the unwavering commitment and leadership that you demonstrated as chairman of the community during the first 6 months of this year at a challenging time for our community. The community looks forward to St. Kitts and Nevis's continued leadership in advancing issues related to human resource development, health, and HIV/AIDS, its portfolio in the quasi-cabinet of CARICOM. CARICOM is pleased to join with the government and people of your country in celebrating the 36th anniversary of independence and extends best wishes for the continued progress of St. Kitts and Nevis.
And additionally, the President of the Portuguese Republic, Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa, in a laudatory letter to His Excellency the Governor General, he stated, on the occasion of the National Day of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, I would like to convey to Your Excellency congratulations and sincere wishes for your personal well-being and for the progress and prosperity of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Also, the Republic of Poland, in a letter of commendation from its Minister of Foreign Affairs to the Honorable Mark Brantley, I deeply hope for the successful development of cooperation between our countries, especially in the field of economy and tourism. I express my readiness to support joint activities both on the forum of international organizations and within the European Union. I hope that work on the new shape of EU-Caribbean relations after 2020 will lead to the strengthening of this cooperation.
And we want to highlight and to congratulate the author of the theme for Independence 36, Mr. Travis Bell, who is a student overseas, and I had the honor of teaching him when I lectured at the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College.
And reflecting on Heroes Day, Lesroy, when the only living national hero, the Right Excellent, the Right Honorable Dr. Sir Kennedy Alphonse Simmons spoke of the key that binds all of the heroes. He said service is the key to it, and without service, he rendered service to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, and they in turn made him a hero. So he was saying the ties that bind all of the heroes across the board is service to community.
Yes, and that service must be selfless service. It is not service that seeks honor or to be recognized, but you are serving because that is what you are called to do. It's your God-given duty to serve.
And of course, Leslie, heroes are very important, whether they are political or religious leaders, because they serve a purpose in our community or in our society, and they help to inspire and give hope and also provide examples of success for the younger ones. You spoke of Travis Bell. He's a shining example of someone who, from a humble background, and he is making strides. And one day, who knows?
That's right. And heroes are not people who are perfect. They have their weaknesses and they have their strengths. But what it is that drives them is a passion to serve humanity, a passion to serve their country. That determination and perseverance is there, that they have some goal. And that is absolutely important. We never give up. We keep striving.
If you've just joined us, pleasant good morning to you. We are here at Warner Park at the highlight of one of the events marking our 36th anniversary of independence. It's the ceremonial parade commemorating the 36th independence anniversary. And at this moment, the Prime Minister is inspecting the troops on parade. He is now with the explorers, and as we said before, it's a very large group on parade. So he's now at the end of the line, having a little chat with some of the explorers, the little ones, of course, who are very proud to be on parade here this morning. And Lesroy, we also see that a number of persons here on parade, maybe some of them not feeling too well. They're being escorted off to the Red Cross tent. And this is something that is all a part of the parade here over the years.
Yes, and at times like this, when we have independence, our national flag and our national anthem are highlighted. And we want to really pay tribute to Kenrick Georges, the composer of our national anthem, who recently passed, and also the composer of our national flag, really, yes. Mrs. Idris Lewis. She's married. Her married name.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. And she lives in the United States. Also, we remember the first Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, who is now our only living national hero. He was the one that basically took us into independence on the 19th of September, 1983, the Right Excellent and the Right Honorable Sir Kennedy Alphonse Simmons.
And we also heard the Prime Minister, the Honorable Timothy Harris, also saying that each one of the heroes in their own right had a role to play in the road leading to our independence. And we just saw the conclusion of the inspection of the troops on parade as the Prime Minister, uh, along with the members of the security forces, they are now heading back to the saluting dais to a round of applause from the crowd here. It's a large crowd, Lesroy, especially on the western stand,
Yes,
right on the left of us.
and it
And
appears to
also,
me,
yes,
Veer, that people are still filling the stands here.
and noticeable among all of the stands is the patriotic colors, the green and the red and the black. They
That's
are
right.
outstanding.
It's a sea.
Yes, yes.
It's really a sea of the national colors. Quite impressive, actually. The Honorary Council, Her Excellency Tessie Ekpugnobi of Nigeria, has also given her congratulatory messages to St. Kitts and Nevis on its Independence Day. Independence Day is the greatest, most significant day of history for any nation in the world. It is celebrated once in a year with much enthusiasm to commemorate the sacrifice of those who fought bravely to bring freedom for the nation. It is a great occasion to celebrate the freedom fighters and their supreme contributions. Independence does not come free. It demands a great cost. Quite some words there, Veer.
Yes, some real
From
strong words.
Yes,
With deep meaning as well.
very deep meaning.
Right now, the commander on parade, we will be seeing the march past of the various troops, and the Governor General, he's on the saluting dais, and at any moment now the troops will be making their way in slow and quick time. That's one of the highlights of the parade here at Warner Park each and every time it has been held, and the Defense Force band persons are looking forward to see the creativity in the music, as sometimes they play some of the popular local tunes, especially to the quick march. For the march pass in slow time, the Defense Force band will be playing by land and sea. And for the quick time, Sons of the Brave and Imperial Echoes, and I spoke of the local tune, Work Your Shift, which was done by one of our top local bands, the Grandmasters Band, and Lucy, which is a regional calypso as well. The crowd is now looking forward to the march past. Still a slight breeze blowing across the Warner Park Cricket Stadium. The sun is out in its numbers. The photographers are all in place to capture the moment here at Warner Park as the crowd applaud as the troops are now doing the slow march by land and sea, the regimental quick march of the St. Kitts and Nevis Regiment Scipio.
You know, Veer, all of this would not be possible without our partners, our sponsors, those persons who collaborate with us. We can think of Flow, Of course, we can think of ZIZ and SKNIS. We can think of the cable, and all those persons who collaborate to make this a possibility. We also think of the hard work that was done, chaired by the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Sean Richards, of the Independence Planning Committee.
Right.
All of the work that was put in by all of the subcommittees to make these independence activities a success.
And the march past is just about 50 yards away from the saluting dais, where the Governor General will be taking the salute, flanked by the Acting Commissioner of Police and also the Commander of the St. Kitts and Nevis Defense Force, Comrie. And at the end of it all, Leswa, you hear people speaking about the lines. You hear the debate which troop on parade was the best.
Oh,
and
yes.
that sort of thing.
There's always that competition. But as far as I am concerned, they all do very, very well.
The St. Kitts and Nevis Defense Force platoon number 1 is now on its way in front of the Governor General, followed by the flag party, the St. Kitts Nevis Defense Force colors, and of course you could hear the applaud in the background. Second detachment of the St. Kitts Nevis Defense Force now making its way with the eyes right and salute, followed by the third detachment of the St. Kitts Nevis Defense Force, the Coast Guard, of course, dressed in their white.
And via this sort of order, this sort of organization and discipline, basically is what our society should reflect at all times.
The members of the Royal St. Christopher and the Nevis Police Force looking quite smart this morning on parade.
And we really have to tip our hats off to our law enforcement body, the St. Kitts and Nevis Defense Force and the St. Kitts and Nevis Royal Police Force, because they do tremendous work in keeping us safe.
They are not only on show during independence, but all year round. Just saw the contingent of the females of the police force giving their salute. And now the third detachment of the Royal St. Christopher and the Nevis Police Force on their way. The Defense Force band led by Captain Nigel Williams. A big round of applause as they now prepare to lead the parade as they go from slow time to quick time.
And Via, we have people from near and far who have come just to witness this parade today. We have in our midst His Excellency Mr. Ruben Ramin, High Commissioner of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and his delegation. And of course, we remember the Bahamas at this time and the tremendous devastation that took place there, especially in Abaco and the Grand Bahama. We have His Excellency Lumka Yengini, High Commissioner of South Africa and Delegation, His Excellency Gustavo Martinez Pandiani, Ambassador of the Argentine Republic, and Mrs. Martinez. We have His Excellency Mr. Pertti Ikonen, Ambassador of Finland. We have Mr. Magdi Soliman Martinez, Permanent Representative for the United Nations Development Program and Delegation. And he's the new head. He was recently appointed. We have His Excellency Arthur H.W. Williams, High Commissioner of Jamaica.
As they break into the quick time right now, the Sons of the Brave is being played right now as the detachments make their way once again. Led by the St. Kitts Nevis Defence Force Band. One of the popular tunes associated with events like this. And as usual, the round of applause for the St. Kitts Nevis Defence Force Band.
St. Kitts and Nevis and its 36th anniversary of independence. We know how important it is our telecommunications network.
Quite a display of discipline from the units here on parade this morning. They've been joined by the contingents from the fire and rescue services. Her Majesty's Customs on parade here this morning, and Her Majesty's Prison and the unit from the St. Christopher Air and Seaports Authority. They've been followed by the crossing guards as well, dressed in their new ceremonial outfit. The Girl Guides are also part of the ceremony here this morning. The Seventh-day Adventist Pathfinders, they usually make their contribution. A small number of them are on parade this morning. Usually we see a larger contingent from the Seventh-day Adventist Pathfinders. But the Explorers,
Which is the largest
yes,
contingent.
the largest contingent on parade, making their way at this moment.
Where I must also say that within our midst is the Commissioner of Jamaica, His Excellency Arthur H.W. Williams, who is the High Commissioner of Jamaica. We have His Excellency Anthony Mwaniki Muchiri, Ambassador of the Republic of Kenya. We have His Excellency Dr. K.J. Srinivasa, High Commissioner of the Republic of India and Family and Delegation. Mr. Marc Mertillo, Charge d'Affaires, the Embassy of France, and Mrs. Mertillo. And we have quite a loud applause for the Explorers. They're quite impressive, actually.
And we look at the little one.
Oh, we have one there, just a very, very little one.
And
Can't
she's
be
just
no more.
taking a casual walk. She's
Seems
just
like
taking
in
a casual
kindergarten,
walk.
very casual walk, but nonetheless,
She's part of the parade.
a child shall lead them.
Yes. And the unit from the police responsible for the explorers, they're doing a pretty good job. They visit the schools on a regular basis and give their pep talks to the students, and they are also here with the explorers as well.
And we have quite a very animated crowd here at Warner Park Cricket Stadium, who are enjoying every moment of our 36th anniversary of independence ceremonial parade. We also have among us Honorable Mr. Yasir Al Abdullah, who is the Minister Plenipotentiary of the state of Qatar, Ms. Ruth Delaney, Deputy High Commissioner of New Zealand, Mr. Edward Moon, Head of Political and Communications Team, the British High Commission, Ms. Adra Al-Mansouri, Head of the Caribbean Diplomatic Section, Mr. Luis Maia, First Counsel European Union to CARICOM, and Mr. Johnny Hodgson, Delegate of Presidency for Southern Caribbean Autonomous Region of the Republic of Nicaragua. Those were just some of our visiting dignitaries and members of our diplomatic corps who are here in St. Kitts and Nevis for our 36th anniversary of independence. And I'm sure that they too are enjoying every moment of it.
And as we speak, we are still seeing the detachments from the explorers. They're still coming around as part of the quick time of the parade here. And they are enjoying it, of course. And their leaders dressed in the various colors, of course. We want to say happy independence to our nationals in the diaspora. Of course, those tuned and looking at the parade live on ZIZ TV and maybe listening live on ZIZ Radio. Good morning to you and happy independence. It's a national holiday in St. Kitts and Nevis, and a similar parade is being held on the sister island of Nevis as well.
And do you know, Veer, that the theme for this year's 36th anniversary of independence, you can really see it here on display. The unity, the transformation, the enrichment, the uplifting of our communities for Independence 36. The community spirit is very much alive.
The various groups, the unarmed units are now taking back up their position as the Defense Force Band is now on display. Imperial Echoes being played, and I guess at any time they will be doing Work Your Shift and Lucy as they make their way back up facing the east, making their way past the Governor General. The round of applause you are hearing is for the Defense Force Band.
And the Defense Force Band is led by Captain Nigel A. Williams, Director of Music, and the drum major is LCPL Walter C. It's quite a bright and sunny morning here at Warner Park in Basseterre.
And the heat the sun is taking a toll on some of the explorers, as you see some of them to be taken out to the Red Cross tent, maybe to get some refreshments for the march to the Defense Force camp at the end of this ceremony.
You know, I have to really admire our military personnel, our law enforcement personnel, because it's not very easy. Rain or shine,
Yes, yes, that is
they
so
have
true.
to be here. And they have to brave the elements, which is not easy. To stand in the hot sun and to march you know, it's not an easy thing. So we tip our hats off to them.
Yes, yes. And following this, we will be having the advance in review order. And we understand that the Defense Force band will be playing the first aid band of Sons of the Brave. That's when the order is given for advancing review order. And the photographers are all around Lesroy making sure that they capture every moment.
Yes, and Mr. Willett, Leroy Willett of Willett's Photo Studio. I mean, Willett has been around for a very, very long time. Since I was a little boy,
And
I've been hearing about Mr. Willett. I often say to him, he's like the Energizer Bunny. He's going and going and going.
the Prime Minister also mentioned him in his Heroes Day address as
Yes.
well. And as maybe you might have heard it in the background, the Cadet Corps is usually a staple at Independence parades, but over the past few years, we haven't been seeing them at all on parade. So I think something should be done, maybe
To revive
to
the
revive
the Cadet Corps.
Cadet Corps.
That's a discussion you can have with the commander.
Well, I had the discussion with him, and I think there are plans to try
revive
bring
it.
to bring it back.
Okay,
yes.
good.
You're listening to ZIZ Radio and TV as we bring you live the ceremonial parade at Warner Park. Of St. Kitts and Nevis as the parade will now prepare to march off as they give 3 cheers to St. Kitts and Nevis. The order has been given to remove the headdress, giving 3 cheers to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis on this, the 36th anniversary of our independence.
We are coming to almost at the end of our ceremonial parade for our 36th anniversary of independence. We will soon see the departure of His Excellency the Governor General, the departure of the Honorable Prime Minister, the departure of the Commander of the St. Kitts and Nevis Defense Force, and the Commissioner of Police. Following the parade, they will march up to Camp Springfield, where there will be the toast to the nation. And many people look forward to that.
That is when the announcement is made who is the best group on parade.
The best group on parade.
Yes.
And also after here, the Prime Minister will make a stop at the Joseph N. France General Hospital to see if there was any Independence baby.
And I'm sure they will.
Yeah, not mine.
So all in all, it was a pleasant parade here at the Warner Park Cricket Stadium. We see the crowd getting ready to leave as well as they line the streets of Bastille leading to Camp Springfield, where the troops will march, take the journey up to Camp Springfield for the toast to the nation that will be given by the Governor General, His Excellency S.W. Tapley Seaton. And we are now seeing the departure of the Governor General. He will be followed by Prime Minister, the Honorable Timothy Harris, along with his security personnel. And all in all, Les Roy, the persons who came out here today felt a sense of pride, and they consider that they were part of the celebrations here for the 36th Independence Anniversary, especially the visitors who have come to join us.
And pride indeed, it was a marvelous display of our military personnel, our youth explorers, and other members of the uniformed body.
The Prime Minister is about to leave to a round of applause from the crowd here at the Warner Park Cricket Stadium. I'm sure you can hear the shouting in the background as our Prime Minister make his way. The security chiefs will be next in line. Acting Commissioner of Police, Hilroy Brandy, and of course the Commander, Comrie of the St. Kitts and Nevis Defense Force. They'll be leaving, and then the parade will get ready to leave the Warner Park Stadium. Les Roy, what can we look forward to following this event today? Are there any other major
Well,
activities?
of course, after the toast to the nation, this evening there's a cocktail reception at Government House.
And we understand too that Les Roy, the various schools put on their independence programs, and of course it went down very well.
Yeah, that
Some
was
of
yesterday.
Our ministers of government and other diplomats were able to speak with the students and
Yes.
understand they were well received.
Yes. Independence is always a time that we look forward to. You know, for so many years of slavery and colonialism, we were not a self-governing country. We were not autonomous. But independence brings with it, you know, the ability to govern ourselves politically and economically, to order our society as we would wish to order it, and not really be dictated to by a metropolitan country. Of course, you know, we have come a very long way in 36 years. However, of course, as a nation, and a very young nation, because 36 years we are a very young nation, but we continue to grow. There are challenges, but there have been tremendous success in our journey for those 36 years. And it is so important there that, that we build the nation. Each and every one of us should build our nation, be proud of our nation.
And as you rightfully said, Lesroy, we are 36 years but a small nation, but we have achieved much in that short term.
In fact, the smallest sovereign nation.
The parade here at Warner Park is getting ready to depart, as we still seen a number of the dignitaries leaving. We also seen some of the spectators here slowly making their way out of the Warner Park Cricket Stadium, and I know they'll be looking forward to the 37th celebration of our independence, which will be in a short year's time. Today is Independence Day, 19th September 2019. And over the past few weeks, Lesroy, the heat, the sun, was quite something that persons were speaking about. It was the big talking point. What's going on with the weather? The place is so hot. And we're seeing it here today. It's just about what time now? Just about 9 o'clock.
And it is very hot.
And it's very, very hot this morning.
But Veer, I always say we have to give thanks for God's work. Sometimes when it's too hot, we say it's too hot. When it's too cold, we say it is too cold. When it rains too much, we say it rains too much. But let's face it, it's just nature.
2019 highlight of the calendar of activities, or let's say one of the highlights of the activities, the ceremonial parade here to commemorate the 36th independence anniversary. We had the parade as well on Heroes Day, and we also had the independence lecture at the ECCB auditorium. There were a number of other activities as well to mark the independence anniversary, and I'm sure that the planning committee is proud of their work and what they have done.
Indeed. I am a member of the planning committee, and I can tell you, you always have to go to meetings. And I don't particularly like going to so many meetings, but I do have to go because they are important. It's always important to organize. It's always important to plan when we want to execute well ceremonies and activities, just like we've just had here.
You got to put in the work to get the success.
Yes.
And we're seeing it here at the Warner Park Stadium as we bring to you the final live event on ZIZ Radio and television. And now the parade is getting ready to leave the Warner Park Stadium. And listeners and viewers, we are hoping that you enjoyed today's parade, and we are looking forward to your support each and every time as persons log on to www.zizonline.com, our Facebook page, as well as television and listen on radio. Among those here this morning as well, Ambassador Jonelle Powell. We've also seen a number of other ambassadors here this morning. The Defense Force Band is getting ready to move to the front of the line. We are still seeing the vehicles taking the many dignitaries that came out here this morning. They're still lined up here in Warner Park, Les Roy.
Yes.
And a few days ago, this particular venue was transformed as we had the CPL matches being played here by our own Patriots.
We had 5 games. Is it
Yes,
5?
we had 5 games.
And
here.
of those 5, we won.
2 games out of
We
the
won
5.
2 out of the 5, but we've advanced.
Yes, we have. I think they should be playing later this evening in Jamaica.
Okay.
They should be playing another game.
You know, cricket is something that always unites us. It is one of those things that sports, of course, that unite Caribbean people. We love a cricket.
Yes, yes, and it fell in well with our celebrations of our independence.
And we love a bacchanal. I mean, you know,
We love the party.
We love the party. Going to cricket and carrying on. That's what cricket is all about. And more T20. You know, people seem to like the excitement of T20. With Test cricket now, it's a longer period of time, and you know, it is fast, and people like that sort of a thing. T20.
Okay, Leslie, maybe you can give your final word as to what you saw here this morning. What are your feelings about the parade?
Well, Veer, what I saw is a marvelous display of talent, discipline, orderliness. Our young people, the youth explorers, our law enforcement, the St. Kitts and Nevis Defense Force, the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force, those officers from the prison, those from the Customs and Excise, from the Fire and Rescue Services. It was just fantastic. And every year, they seem to be getting better at it. Of course, practice makes perfect. And so I want to wish all of our citizens and our residents happy 36th anniversary of independence, and that you continue to enjoy today and enjoy the other activities, because there are other activities on our calendar of activities for independence.
And I would just like to endorse your sentiments, Lesroy, and of course I too would like to wish each and everyone a happy Independence Day. I'd also like to thank all those persons who contributed to the live broadcast, our technicians here from ZIZ, the radio and the television, the photographers, all of the persons, the engineer, those back at the station. Wanna thank you very much for the work put in this morning to bring this live 36th Independence Anniversary Parade. And on behalf of all of us here at Warner Park, we now take you back to Master Control.